Okay, so today is episode 79 of the Reckless Style podcast. And I think my camera's a bit laggy. I'm not sure why it's being that way today, but it is. So I apologize for that. But on today's podcast list, we have a few topics. I'll talk about NFL free agency a little bit. I'm going to talk about the Super Mario Bros. Movie just a little bit. I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to touch on it. Talk about Lofi Girl. Talk about my most recent tattoo. I'm going to talk about the NBA play-in tournament, which just wrapped up today. The Harry Potter TV series. Harry Potter TV series. We're going to talk about the Marvels trailer, the Tears of the Kingdom trailer, and the White Men Can't Jump trailer. Now, there's probably more stuff that I wanted to talk about that I just forgot to list down, so I might look something up depending on the speed of the podcast. Now, last week, my fiance, who was in the room, was listening in, and she also kind of noted to me, which I appreciate the feedback from her, was that I talk too fast. And you know what? I agree. I do have a tendency to talk really fast. And I think that's just because I get excited. So I'm trying to not be less excited, but I'm trying to calm myself as I talk and I get through these topics. Because I realize that right now I'm not rushing. I shouldn't be rushing to fit within a time slot because I'm not even close to reaching the time slot when I'm rushing. So I should take my time. Realistically, right now, when it comes to NFL free agency, the only real notable things that I can think of at the top of my head, because we're still in the middle of free agency, the draft is coming up and all that, are the big news is, Odell signing with Baltimore, which I think was a big incentive for Lamar to stay on the team despite the continued issues with the Ravens organization to, secure a bag for him and give him a great long-term contract. Now, I'll be completely honest, it's really hard to say what you're going to get out of Odell, honestly, because, what he did as, wideout 2, in my opinion, when he last played for the Rams and won them the Super Bowl was fine. Here, he'll probably be de facto wideout 1, assuming he comes back to full health. I really don't know what to expect just because he's been a year removed from the game. But let's be honest, in his last game, in the Super Bowl win, he was producing. Honestly, he was, in my opinion, contributing as well as Cooper Kupp up until the point of his injury. And, with him gone, you really defaulted to Cooper Kupp on that team, which is what helped garner him that MVP in that Super Bowl. But we'll see. My big issue with Odell is his ability to stay healthy, and I think that's everyone's current issue because the ability and the skills are there, but injuries are keeping him off of the field. And you also wonder, as he gets older, if these injuries are going to sap more of his dynamic ability that made him a wideout 1. So, we'll see. I both wish them the best, wish him the best in terms of like his ability to play and all that. But at the same time, I'm a 49ers fan, so I can't wish him that much of the best. The other big one is, what is going on with the Jets in terms of Aaron Rodgers, but that really should be phrased as what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, right? Like what is going on with that man and all that, and how come it hasn't fallen through? And there's been some reports and speculation about what it is that Green Bay and the Jets are working on and the demands to get this to happen. I find it highly unlikely that things won't go through because it would be very surprising if Rodgers didn't move because I highly doubt he would end up playing. And then playing for the Packers. And I know there's been some reports too about like talks about what if he actually retires and all that. It all just sounds like an Aaron Rodgers mess though when you really think about Aaron Rodgers and the way things have gone. Let's see. So I did say Super Mario Bros. I haven't seen it yet. It's just going to the movies has been hard. Like I still haven't seen John Wick 4. I did not get a chance to check out Creed 3. Um, a lot of movies. Ant-Man, I'm going to basically be waiting on it to stream on Disney Plus before I see Ant-Man Quantum Mania. And then I just learned, based off the most recent Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, that May 5th is when Guardians drops. And I'll be completely honest, I do not expect that I will be seeing that anytime soon. So getting to the movies has been difficult. And that might seem weird, like, oh, it's so hard to go to the movies. And for me, it's just it's hard to do it because we have so much happening in our world right now. And I say that our world is like my world with my fiance and my family and friends. There's just a lot happening, and that's with like family things that I'm dealing with, and working a full-time job that occasionally gives me overtime, and the responsibilities I have to my family and my fiance because we are getting married in a couple months. So we're just busy. So trying to find time to go to the movies is just difficult, on top of like all of our other obligations and social obligations that we have to family and friends and ourselves. Where are we in? Oh shoot, what happened to my notes? Okay, and then okay, yeah. So, Lo-Fi Girl. So for those who have been like, okay, so if you don't know what Lo-Fi Girl is, you probably weren't, a student who needed some sort of music to keep you going, but you wanted something that was easy, that was continuously kind of on, and it didn't distract you from your work. So for a lot of people, I did it. So a lot of people said they did it in high school. A lot of people did it in college. I used it mostly for my college days. Lo-fi music was a big one, and Lo-Fi Girl is probably one of the more recognizable ones, simply because of the animation. And most people know it is a girl. I I guess you could say Asian. It's kind of done in an Asian anime-esque style, so I guess you could say she's Asian. Wears like a green crew neck with like a pinkish scarf. I'm kind of looking at her right now, trying to double check. Like, is that a pink scarf or is that part of like her outfit? But she is basically sitting at her desk. For the stream, there are playlists where she's doing other various things, or she's in a different like area of the house. But normally, for the stream, she's always at her desk, writing in her notebook, with her cat perched by the window, which she's sitting next to, and yeah, she's listening to her headphones, and there you go. That's what's happening. She's studying the whole time. Recently, some things happened within the last couple weeks, where one, she was napping, and that was a big one because it's like, oh, that's unusual because she's always studying. And then like a week later, it was seen that like her and her cat were looking outside their window at night, and there was a particular room lit up with a blue light. And then for a little while, Lo-Fi Girl disappeared. She wasn't at her desk, and that was kind of the build up to it, and everyone's kind of wondering what happened to Lo-Fi Girl, what happened with the room. And then a couple days ago, it was revealed from two perspectives that, well, actually kind of, I don't remember if it actually revealed what, because like I wasn't able to be on the stream the entire time to know, so I was kind of catching up as I could. But basically it was the launch of a separate kind of channel, called Lo-Fi Boy, but it's more of a synthwave, which you can find Lo-Fi Boy, but you can see the POV from both of their respective angles. Technically Lo-Fi Girl's POV is like if she was looking outside of her window, but being exactly on the other side of Lo-Fi Boy's window, because technically she's on the other side of this like city. But yeah, essentially it was the birth of a new channel. which also streams all the time now, which is really cool. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this up was one, because like this was just such a cool thing for me, I guess, and I guess everyone else who also was a fan or used, Lo-Fi Girl as, what as an aid in either just mood music, relaxation music, or study music, whatever it was there for. It was just, I still use it every now and then for work. But essentially, what I was really juiced about and what had me really excited is that this channel was able to take this like concept of theirs and just do something completely, in my opinion, like out of left field, to create some of the lore and excitement into building and launching a completely new like stream channel. And I just thought that was really, really dope too, because there's a specific purpose that this channel had, the specific purpose the stream had for the lo-fi hip hop radio one that is, a lot of people use for studying and like that. And then they, just by simply changing a couple things, having her go to sleep, having her look out the window at this blue room lighting up, and then disappearing for a bit, it's just created this buzz and excitement. And you didn't know what it was. And no matter what, you kind of had this idea of like, well, it can't be anything bad, right? Because it's a lo-fi channel. It's like, this isn't a horror thing, but your mind is going to race. Your mind is going to wander. And mine did. And it made me invested in it. And then, it was the launch of another separate thing. And then Lo-Fi Girl was back. And now you have these two channels with two different purposes, but you can really do whatever you want with them, right? In terms of listening and streaming. But it was just really cool how they were able to do it was a really creative way to take your brand and just do subtle changes to create story and lore. And then all of a sudden, you're expanding the brand now. And I just thought that was really cool. And it makes me excited to see, in the future what this channel might do. And that, I mean, Lo-Fi Girl's been around for years. And this is, the launch of something different for them, which is really cool. So who knows where they're going for, but either way, love what they've done, and I'm going to continue to be a supporter of this channel and what they do for a long time. Right, so I'll skip that for right now because I'm gonna have to reposition to be able to show it off. But well, let's talk about the NBA play-in tournament. So if you watched the NBA today, the last two games finished for the East and the West to lock in that 8th seed. With earlier today, Chicago lost a nail biter against Miami, and then the other part was it was not a nail biter, but OKC got destroyed by Minnesota. But credit to OKC for the season they had, because it was noted that a lot of people didn't think they'd get there. Some growing pains, but you would expect them to continue to try to make some noise in the Western Conference. Minnesota played their heart out today. I do not think that I don't think they'll make it past the first round against Denver, but it's a newly formed team essentially with a lot of interesting characters and a lot of interesting dynamics. But they came out, they played, so maybe they'll actually put up a really good match against Denver. Chicago, unfortunate way to end their season because they were up, they were doing well, but they had an inability to score in the closing minutes, whereas the Heat just turned it on from both ends. They were getting stops, they were getting blocks, they were getting rebounds, and they were getting to the basket and getting fouled, which helped them cut that 5-point deficit and then take the lead and never look back. The Heat get Milwaukee. Great matchup. Honestly, it could go either way if both teams are healthy and playing well. I still take Milwaukee, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. On the West side, Denver, Minnesota. I remember I mentioned that. And then there is the chance and possibility. Oh God, who got the other seed? Oh, that was the Lakers one. Yeah. So the Lakers get I can't remember. But I think I already talked about that. Besides that, Harry Potter TV series that is coming up. And how do I feel about it? I am not exactly like, I'm not bothered by it in terms of, oh, look, there's a new Harry Potter series and that's going to be replacing the movies, and the movies hold like a huge special place in the hearts of a lot of the fans. And it's rough because you don't want to lose those. And then there's the idea that, like, if this new series does really well, will it mean that the movies fade away? But it's hard. It's very hard. I'm not mad, and obviously I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see how it goes. I think the thing some people are really concerned about, though, is J.K. Rowling's involvement as an executive producer. But I think in general, just her involvement at all, I think probably makes people uncomfortable and upset, and I think rightfully so. Despite J.K. Rowling being the creator of the series, I think based off recent issues she's had in the media, based off words she said and opinions she shared, and given that all of the source materials there to be used in the books, I really don't think that they need to. I don't think they need her. I really don't think they need her. And I mean, obviously things might change, but I would hope that they might reconsider her involvement, because I don't think she's essential to that. There is, about there is the Marvels trailer that just, I don't remember if it launched there or not, but the Marvels trailer is interesting. It shows off your three Marvels in Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, and then oh God, what is her name? Did they give her an actual name? Is her name Photon? God, I could be wrong. I can't even remember her character's name. But you know, the oh God, WandaVision. You know, Carol Danvers' best friend's daughter, who now, oh God, I cannot remember the name. But yeah, you know, her. She's there. She's the, I guess, the third version of the Marvel, and it's kind of shown to be a bit lighthearted and comedic. I don't know. I think it's too early to say. The big twist is, you know, all their powers are connected to each other, and when they use their powers, it causes them to switch and teleport. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how that's gonna go. I feel like a lot of the Marvel stuff right now is just not. It's not generating a lot of excitement for people. The next trailer, or the most recent trailer for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom, dropped, and Tears of the Kingdom trailer dropped, and it was it's finally got people excited. You get to see a lot of the gameplay, the world, some of the abilities. I can't remember the name of the other tribe, but I believe that's the other, like, tribe that dates further than the Sheikah tribe. And I could be talking my ass because I can't remember everything off the top of my head anymore. But I'm really excited. There's still a lot of time left, a lot more trailers to come out, and obviously everyone wants to know what to expect. What words am I using right now? I completely forgot. We're all just kind of waiting to learn more about it and actually just get our hands on it. I think that's what I was trying to say. I think first trailer for the White Men Can't Jump Hulu remake is out, and I don't know. it is really hard for me to watch it and not kind of like compare it and think about the old school one. And it's just, I don't know. I'm wondering if the culture will be there properly, because when I think about the old White Men Can't Jump, I think about that kind of street ball and that kind of hooping and the playing for money and all that kind of stuff. Like, it all felt very authentic. With this one, I'm just kind of wondering if they can capture that same vibe. We'll see. I mean, I want it to succeed, but I think I go back to my issue with remakes and why there's such a huge fascination with remakes right now. Why do so many classics have to be remade for a new generation? Um, it really makes me wonder why we can't tell are we just at a point where we just can't tell new stories? And sometimes a remake isn't a bad thing, but sometimes I more now than ever, I wonder if we're just cycling through, and it really sucks because some classics I feel like shouldn't be touched. That being said, Lord of the Rings apparently is redoing movies too, and that one's weird for me too because I loved the original trilogy. Now, I wouldn't say they were perfect, but I loved the original trilogy. Fellowship was my favorite movie out of the three, and that should be the answer for everybody. But as a whole, I love what it was, and I wonder, like, do we need to go back and redo it? Like, is there actually a reason to do that? It's just unfortunate that just seems to be what everyone is defaulting to when it comes to all these movies. And that doesn't mean like I won't try to possibly watch it. It doesn't mean I won't be into it, but I don't know. I just I don't know. With a bunch of these remakes, it's just ones that have a huge place in the culture and history of that kind of franchise and lore. And with fans, it's just like sometimes you gotta wonder, like, why do we need to overwrite them sometimes? Unless it was garbage. Maybe if it was just like a terrible thing and we're gonna redo it better, then maybe, like, the idea of like why a new Mortal Kombat movie was like so exciting because Mortal Kombat, was it Armageddon, wasn't great, and we wanted to bring it back to live action. And I remember there were talks of Street Fighter possibly getting some new live actions, and I was like, that was great because Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li sucked. And then like the old Street Fighter movie with like Van Damme, even though it wasn't a good movie, it was campy as all hell, it was a lot of fun, and I've still watched it, and I wouldn't mind rewatching it again and just enjoying it for what it is, but like it's not anywhere near to being a good movie. But it's fun. It's like 90s fun, so it's not terrible, but it's fun. Oof, man, I really once again kind of blew through these because it's 24 minutes in, and I really thought I took my time. Oh, right. So I got my newest tattoo. I don't really think you can see that. Oh, you can kind of see that. There you go. It's a little glimpse of it. But yeah, I got my newest tattoo Saturday. Today's Friday, so almost a week ago. And man, that was a great experience. The guy Jerome who did my tattoos, amazing dude, really chill. He's someone I could definitely see myself just hanging out with and chilling with. But a great tattoo experience. He free-handed the design on my leg. So this is this was just really cool. It was custom designed based off the conversations we had about what I wanted from the tattoo, and he specializes in kind of like authentic Filipino, I wouldn't say tribal, but like authentic Filipino style tattoos where a lot of what is designed comes from the culture. The symbols come from our history, our culture, our symbols, our spiritualism, our beliefs. So this is actually the start of what will eventually be like a full leg tattoo, a full calf sleeve. Um, but I started off with a band, one just because costs, just given everything that's going on in my life. I just wasn't sure I could afford to do the whole leg right now. So I started off with the band, and then work my way down, and I don't regret it at all, because even just the band alone is, in my opinion, the band alone is pretty awesome. I would be happy just leaving it as it is, but I do intend to go back and get more and finish it up when the funds are more available for me after the wedding and all this stuff is sorted out. But yeah, it was an amazing experience, and it honestly was really fast. It was under 3 hours to get the tattoo done from the time he started inking me, and yeah, I sat through that thing, no stopping, at least on my part. So that was great, and it honestly didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. Worst parts were areas on the bone and when it was directly on the calf muscle, but overall, even then, it still wasn't too bad. And with that, I think I'm really like running towards the end here with what I have to talk about. Let's see. Oh gosh, I don't even want to talk about Giants baseball because that has just been frustrating for me. We went 1-2 against the Dodgers, and then today we lost. Oh, who did we lose to? I know we lost, I think, like 7-5 or something like that. We lost by 2 runs today, and that was against. Okay, it's not showing up, but we got walked off by the Tigers today, so that's a bummer. Okay, so I forgot. It's been a little frustrating. The pitching has been frustrating. We have not been pitching well. That is both some of the starters, the relievers, and the bullpen, and our closers. It hasn't been great, and I think the biggest outlier of that is Logan Webb, and Logan Webb has lost and gotten lit up pretty frequently in each of his starts, and it's frustrating because the kid is good. I believe in the kid, but after the amazing performance he put in that Dodgers series in the playoffs a couple years ago, even though we lost that, he was by far the best pitcher in that series, in my opinion. And that's maybe being a little biased, but Webb was dominant, in full control of his pitching. It was amazing. He hasn't been the same since then. He has been rocky and shakier at times, and I don't know if it's him and his control and delivery, or if it's really batters getting used to figuring out how he throws and what he's going to throw. That being said, the Giants locked him down. The Giants are paying this man a 5-year contract. They are paying him, what is it, like $90 million? And I don't have a problem with having locked him down for this 5-year extension, but I am just hoping. Yeah, it was $90 million. Okay, I'm just hoping he produces worth that contract. Because as of this season, he is definitely not. I'm a little surprised that that's what happened. But maybe the guaranteed money, maybe the contract will show how much we believe in him, and maybe that'll help him out. Maybe that'll make him more comfortable. because he knows the team's got his back. They know that we want him here. They'll know that we believe in him. He'll know that we want him to succeed with us. So maybe that'll kickstart something. I don't know, but I'm hoping for the best because Giants pitching, specifically Logan Webb's pitching, has been frustrating to start this season. Speaking of seasons, Warriors basketball starts tomorrow at the Kings for the first game in the first round of the playoffs. And Andrew Wiggins is cleared. He will be back. He is believed to be coming off the bench, like 20-minute minimum, 30 minutes, I believe. I believe coming off the bench is a good idea for this series, probably. We'll see how it goes. But I expect if he looks good, he'll probably close out games if he looks good and looks like he's able to play at a high level on both ends, specifically defensively. But it's time. It's time for Warriors fans to start believing again, because it's the playoffs. Obviously, regular season, this was a rough one, a very weird one, especially on the road. But playoffs are different, and I'm hoping that matters here. I'm hoping when we say the regular season doesn't matter, I hope we can keep to that regular season doesn't matter, because I would like the Warriors to win a fucking road game during this playoff series, during all the playoff series. That would really make me feel better if that were to happen. Oh, right. So other things I didn't mention on the listing was Overwatch 2's Season 4 came out, and let me tell you, I think his name is Lifeweaver. Is that what his name is? Let me look this up real quick. Overwatch. Is his name Lifeweaver? Lifeweaver. Let me tell you. So after I'm like doing the event for Overwatch Lifeweaver, and I suck with Lifeweaver. One, I mean, it takes me a while to get used to people's kits, but I will say more importantly, I struggle with characters, heroes in this case, that have like two different functions in terms of like attack and defense. So like, I'm not good with Lifeweaver. I'm not great with Ramrata. I'm not great with Mercy, or like Lucio, just because like, you can shift their function from like at times to attack to heal, and sometimes I screw myself. It's my own issue. I'm probably sure if I really devoted the time and focus to it, I could get really solid with them. But I'm more simplified. I like to know base, like, okay, this is how I go about it. I'm not great at switching between the two, and even when I do, sometimes I switch at the wrong time. So then I think I'm healing, and then I'm actually trying to attack my own people, or I try to attack the enemy, and then I end up being in the healing function. So it's just I panic, and that's the problem there. But in general, it's just not my playstyle. Even if Lifeweaver ends up becoming one of the preferred, top picks at support, I just do not think it fits my kind of play style. Besides that, though, this season 4's battle pass, I'm kind of mid on it. Going through it, it doesn't seem crazy to me. Of course, I did partake in the battle passes because it gives me something to like work for extra when playing. A little extra motivation. Those rewards obviously don't really mean much in the long run, but they mean something to me when I'm playing in it. I like getting the rewards on my battle pass. Even if this is probably like my least favorite battle pass overall in terms of what can be earned and what's available to you. But okay, I think we're going to wrap this one up. Going to be about 35 minutes. For those who've listened, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all next week at some point. Thanks again. Later all. And stop recording.